The Rajya Sabha spends more than 40% of its functional time on deliberating upon issues of public importance. While over 27% of its time is spent on making laws, 32% of it goes in ensuring accountability of the executive. This is the conclusion of an analysis done by the Rajya Sabha Secretariat during a 41-year period since 1978. The trend was sought by Rajya Sabha Chairman M. Venkaiah Naidu to determine how much time did the upper house spend on its legislative, oversight and deliberative functions.
Deliberative functions include issues of public importance under various instruments like discussion on the motion of thanks to the President's address, general discussion on budgets, short duration discussions, 0-hour and special mentions, and discussion on the working of ministries, among other things. Between 1978 and 2018, general discussion on budgets took up 7.08% of the total functional time of the Rajya Sabha. For motion of thanks, this was 4.36%. 3.93% time was spent discussing the functioning of various ministries. 0-hour and special mentions took about 10% of the time of the House. The oversight function is addressed through questions asked by members. This accounted for 14.19% of the time, while calling attention notices took up 7.11%. Statements of ministers took up 6.33%, private members' resolutions 3.16%, and half-hour discussions 1.25% of the time. In this period, Rajya Sabha spent 27.57% of its functional time making laws. This included 24.05% time spent on consideration and passing of government bills and 3.52% on private members' bills. In all, the House spent 3,429 hours on consideration and passing of government bills and 489 hours on private members' bills. Time spent on government bills ranged from 10.87% of the total time in 2015 to 40.09% in 2002. It touched a record high of 45.9% in the historic 250th session of Rajya Sabha last year. The House passed a record 15 bills after spending 49.08 hours out of the total session time of 107.05 hours. In 12 out of the total 41 years, Rajya Sabha spent up to 20% time on making laws. In 21 years, it ranged from 21% to 30%, 31% to 35% 6 times, and 36% to 40% twice. During 1978 to 2018, Rajya Sabha held 3,022 sittings. It transacted business for 13,946 hours against the available time of 18,132 hours. This translates to 76.91% productivity of the House. 23.09% of the time was lost due to disruptions. Excluding disruptions, the upper house has transacted business for 340 hours per year. This equals nearly 57 sittings without disruptions per year. Disruptions have cost the House about 17 sittings every year. During 1978 to 2018, the actual functional time of Rajya Sabha, excluding disruptions, ranged from 139 hours to 580 hours per year. The House functioned for 139 to 200 hours in 5 years, 201 to 300 hours 14 times, 301 to 400 hours 7 times, 401 to 500 hours 9 years, and over 500 hours in 6 years. The upper house worked for above 500 hours per year during 1978 to 1988. Thereafter, there was an evident slide. Since 1995, the House could function for more than 300 hours per year only 6 times in 23 years. Since 2010, it has been below 300 hours per year. Chairman Naidu sought the exercise as an effort to bridge the information gap about the pattern of time utilization by the upper house. He also wanted a comparison of this trend with that of Lok Sabha and other leading parliaments of the world.